Tervist!
Good morning, I am Martin Parker and I am from Tallinn Technical University. I'm a junior researcher and I'm here in front of you in order to talk and explain the impacts of lightning glare. That my presentation and other presentations are based on a study, and the study had two objectives. We wanted to have a survey of previous studies and to examine lightning pollution on environment, and also to monitor its impact on environment. First of all, we are going to talk about the impacts on humans. But first of all, what is light pollution? It has very many different definitions. I have put here five definitions. It is artificial light in a place where it is not supposed to be. I, as a citizen of Tallinn, I have a lamp on the street, a street lamp, and I don't want it to shine onto my bed when I'm trying to get to sleep. And I am really grateful to Tallinn City that the lamp was replaced or taken away. Another definition is excessive light or unnecessary illumination. This means artificial light has a task. We need to light cycling lanes, pedestrian tracks, but it's too much, and this might lead to lightning glare. Another definition which has been used in literature is night sky illumination. This is caused by reflections or wrongly placed lightning systems. For example, you have a nice monument, and the monument has to be lit, to be exposed in order to increase tourism, but the lightning is somehow misdirected. It illuminates our sky, the clouds, and this will become a light pollution. Our economists define light pollution as energy waste. For example, if it becomes too dark and we use too much light, and this means that we have old-fashioned technologies, obsolete technologies, or we use wrong solutions. And this numerical description, I love numbers. And the light pollution is when our sky is lit by 10% more than natural. And when we talk about money, 10% salary increase is very welcome. People are happy. But if the illumination of our skies increases by 10%, this is very unpleasant. I have one example here. How is glare caused? This is something you sense when you look at very brightly lit areas. For example, the materials have not been chosen properly, or the constructions are not quite accurate, and we need to curb or limit this glare. Something is it causes discomfort, or it makes you blind if you look at an object which is glaring, and then you feel that you are blinded, or you have a spotlight in your vision. And therefore I may not be able to see as properly as I should. Discomfort, of course, is another thing. You sense that you are tired, or that you cannot perform as well as you could. This is also glare. And when we depict it on one picture, then this point is, and to summarize, we have lightning. This has a purpose because we need to light the street, for example, but the light reflects somewhere else, and this in its turn is already pollution. It gets into our rooms, it radiates into the sky. And what I like about this picture is that lighting devices and their design is not enough. We have to choose how to place them so that the area that needs to be lit and the materials and constructions are properly chosen so that it doesn't reflect upwards. Historically, astronomers used this term light pollution because they couldn't see the skies, the stars, different planets. And this is the reason why we are talking about natural lighting levels. This axle is not linear because human eye and animal eye can differentiate the light on a very long range. But we can give higher levels of light, higher than sunset. But astronomers are not the only ones who find light pollution disturbing, but also biologists. They approach the topic from a different angle. It's a negative impact on our ecosystem. And I have again illustrated it with some pictures, ecosystem during the day, at night, and what happens if we introduce different light solutions during night. It means that the parts of ecosystem which are very sensitive, they change their attitudes, their patterns, their behavior. And this does not sustain our eco-diversity. And when we start talking about light pollutions, we have to take a closer look at light itself. It is spectral. We have a natural light source, then we have a mirror, the moon, and then other historically widely used lamps, different spectral divisions. An ordinary lamp or bulb is actually quite good, but it is not economically viable because it wastes a lot of energy. Then we have other lamps, and it has peaks. Human eye is not able to see it, but we are not the only species in our environment. And then we have LED lamps, as the Vice Mayor pointed out. And then we have 4 different LED lamps, and they are differentiated per their wavelengths. We have blue lamps, and the colder the LED light, the higher the temperature, and then the more there is this blue area. If you use warmer light, we can reduce the impact of light. I will talk more about it later on, but I would like to draw your attention to LED lamps, which has 1800 kelvins, because this is a reference or kind of a hint as to how to develop our street lighting. Now we are talking about the light spectra, how humans and animals sense light. Again, we have 10 examples. Humans are individuals and we sense more blue light, but animals have a lower range. And this is something that our study has established. And our animals are influenced by lighting. So all these economical, innovative lighting systems are problematic to our animals, and also their and the misuse of lights could be a problem. But in order to move on, I have some examples of species. But why these species? These studies that have shown why light can be bad. In terms of birds, birds migrate, but their migration takes place with the help of their sense. They locate, they have this magnetic compass, which is influenced by polarized light, the reflection of the moon. And if we introduce artificial light, then the birds might be confused. And the light attracts naturally. We too, humans, we want to be also in a light place rather than in a dark place. And this causes a sense, also similar sensation in birds. When they are attracted by light, they lose their energy and they lose, or at least the bigger birds cannot fly, because every landing, like with rockets, every landing, if you want to rise, it takes more energy. And also singing birds and the physiological changes. Economic people focus on waste, but also environmentally. Light pollution causes earlier or later singing because of the sensation of light, and therefore they waste their energy and they may not be able to perform to kill insects or to mate and to have offspring. Smaller species, insects. There is also a nice picture here. Those who have country houses or who have been to the countryside, during the summer it is hot. I open the window and I am surrounded by insects. But this is already a problem in cities, that there are not enough insects. But this light attracts insects, they waste their energy, they waste their time, and their ecological function is disturbed. And this, among insects, means that due to artificial light, they are attracted to places that they are not supposed to be. And therefore, we as mankind, we lose a lot. And also what is important, lethality, or insects get killed. They are not literally burnt, but they get killed, if not because of the heat, but also by other animals who discover that, well, they have lunch for free, let's eat them, eat the insects. And of course, if we then advance this idea, this is the reason why we don't have enough insects in cities. And this also depends on the color of the light. Some colors are not so attractive to insects. And other species, amphibians, and why them? They are nocturnal mostly, and they are very sensible to light. And if I can see this light, I don't like this light that is shining on me, I can recover in 10-20 seconds, but amphibians need hours to recover from the light, and during that time they can not perform their other functions. Therefore, their development is adversely affected. Of course, if they are not moving, they are in stress. But because if they want to mate and if they want to have offspring, they should be not stressed out. And therefore, they are not full members of our ecosystem anymore, as they were supposed to be, and they cannot perform the functions. Mammals I would like to mention bats. All bats are protected in Europe, and they are also nocturnal animals. They have a dual influence, but it's very significant and in among bats, because some bats are attracted by light, others are deterred by light. And I have the red lights area from Holland, and they have discovered that red light does not impact the bats. This is a bat-friendly area. Another solution what cities can take into use is the shades of trees, areas where bats can move and operate safely. And now to sum it up, I have a table here which specifies how we as scientists, designers of light, what we should take into account those wavelengths. And it is important to note that with the crosses or the yellow area and this soft light, warm light, and there is evidence to prove that this kind of light, if we use proper lighting, we can reduce negative impacts on our environment. Also, in addition to animals, we also have plants. Again, we have a plant here, and sage, and its development has been studied. We have green, violet, red wavelengths here. And these experiments are not done only with sage, but other plants. But to sum it up, photosynthesis is more intensive. Oh, people might think that this is good. We need oxygen. We light all the lights. We get more oxygen, and therefore we get over with the CO2 problem. But plants are not meant to have photosynthesis in such an intensive manner. Plants are also stressed. They reduce their photosynthesis, or they are destroyed literally. And also pollinators, we don't talk about vertebrates, invertebrates, bats. They are all connected. If we don't have pollinators, then we have a long list of plants that cannot exist. And also the extension of seasons. Again, economists say this is a waste of light. The leaves come out too early and they fall too late. And in May this year we had cold nights, and the blossoms that were destroyed. And during fall of leaves, it has been documented, so cases have been documented where street light and trees lit by street lights, their leaves do not fall, but biologically the tree understands that it should fall its leaves. And now the top of the pyramid, humans can be summed up. We have rhythmical disturbances. People who are familiar with blue lights in our phones and computer screens, they have probably sensed that this is disturbing them. Of course, technology offers solutions, but all this affects us, and it has been established that the circadian rhythms, patterns, disturbances can lead to obesity, sleep problems, neurodegeneration, cancer. And if we sum it all up, humans are no more protected against light pollution So we have to take two angles. We are equal partners here, animals, insects, plants. And also this has an impact on biological diversity. Everything is connected. Migration patterns are disturbed, feeding patterns, strategies are disturbed. And this is not connected only with birds, this is connected with plants as well. If they are in a wrong, so to say, wrong light. And also not negative impacts, lethality. We have sleep problems, overweight, different diseases. And my message is that we are together on our planet. And even if we think that we are in the top of the pyramids, it's only comfortable to be there in the top if the lower levels are also well and healthy. Thank you. Thank you, Martin, for this interesting presentation. It is very clear that light pollution is a problem not only to humans but to our entire ecosystem. I would like to start. You mentioned that we don't have a unified definition about light pollution. Is that a problem? And how could we solve it? Now I would say it's not a problem. It's not a problem because, yes, the light pollution has so many different impacts. If you are an economist, you think about money. If you are a designer of lighting, you want to do your work properly. Astronomers cannot see the skies. Ecologists say that it influences our environment. There is no unified definition. The single common element is that it is not good. More questions? You had a very nice slide about bats. Would you recommend? Because the speaker is not using microphone, it is not possible to interpret. Yes, I don't know what the answer is. We have other experts who can comment on that. But this red light, I think it should be tried out or experimented. This pilot project in Holland, it worked well, and Holland is further south from us, and their cycles, night and day cycles, are slightly different, and also their regulations are somewhat different. And I would like to point out that in addition to those solutions, we also have to take into account the location. And I would be very interested to find out whether it would work in Estonia, a similar solution like in Holland. More questions? In Iceland, there are birds who lay their eggs on cliffs, and these young birds will fly out and they orientate towards the moon. And they return to those cliffs, but the light and its different colors, does it influence people? Ordinary lamps, but LED lamps, those LED lamps, even those which are more expensive, they actually change their light spectra. This is one piece of news. Is it pollution or is it just bad that we sense colors differently? I don't know, and I don't consider this pollution. We can say that this is glare, but it doesn't cause this sense that it is too bright, or it kind of disturbs you, distracts you. The technology is faulty there, I think. Thank you very much. Thank you, Martin, and we will meet Martin again today, but now applause to Martin.